franchise in transition right now, but let's look back at their history. Thunder GM Sam Presti had 3 former NBA MVPs at one time on the same team in Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Flash forward to today. All 3 are gone, and OKC has 8 new first-round draft picks to show for their big trades in the last week. Shannon, did Sam Presti screw up the Thunder?
He blew it. He blew it, Skip. You have 3 guys that's going to the Hall of Fame. All 3 of these guys won MVPs. If you throw in Serge Ibaka, Skip, Serge Ibaka was 3 times first-team All-Defense.
He was.
And they're gone.
And that was his draft pick.
That was his,
Yeah.
I mean, and you had, think about it, because Serge and Russ came in the same draft, but Serge didn't come till the following year. So you go Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, James Harden. And they're gone. Skip, you got 1 finals appearance out of that. Skip, if the thing blows up and you got 1, you get 2 is great. I look at it like the Kawhi Leonard. Skip, they gave up DeMar DeRozan. They gave up Pirtle. They gave up a draft pick. But you won a title. You won.
Yep.
You have these guys. If you get a title, you like, they underachieved, but they did win a title. You win 2, you're gravy. Skip, this is an epic failure. What he did, go back to my farming days, Skip, he had bountiful crops, and he gave that all away for seeds. Now he's hoping these seeds, there's some.
You finally came up with a good one. I like that.
Skip, he's hoping.
Way to go.
You know, right now he's hoping, because I believe by the time the draft picks start to materialize, they'll be able to let high schoolers will be able to go straight to the NBA. He's hoping some 11, 12-year-old right now somewhere.
That is true.
Is going to be his #1 pick.
He's got 3 picks in 2026. Where are you now?
Yeah, exactly, Skip. He blew this, Skip. There's no way. And they said, well, now that Russell is gone, it's the end of an era. The era ended when they had a 3-1 lead and they let Golden State come back. The moment Kevin Durant walked out that door, this was over. Because they was never going to be able to replace that. Because he was the linchpin. I don't care what Sam Presti said, what Russell is the alpha dog and yada, yada, yada. The linchpin, the guy that could have made all this work, was 35. 7-foot monster that unlikes we've never seen before. Sam Presti ought to kick his own butt.
Yep.
Because, Skip, this one got away. No team in the history of the NBA can say this is what they did 3 consecutive years. And look at the Celtics in the 60s. Okay, they drafted, but they got titles. Skip, how do you get no titles with 3 guys going in the first ballot to the Hall of Fame, 3 MVPs, and you got nothing? 1 finals appearance? This is gross underachievement.
It is. So this is difficult for me because, as you know, I grew up in Oklahoma City. And I got to tell you, when I was a kid, I could not have imagined my town having even 1 pro team, let alone an NBA team in my town.
Right.
Because I always said, little known fact, I always thought the state of Oklahoma was more of a basketball state than even a football state, because we were only known for University of Oklahoma football.
Right.
But it is hardcore basketball. And the prospect of having our own NBA team would be a pipe dream to the point of laughability.
Right.
Well, not only did Clay Bennett go by the Seattle Supersonics in 2006, but then in 2007, he said, you knew this was coming. Yeah. He moved them to OKC. In 2006, he hired a young man named Sam Presti, who was the #1 assistant and protege of R.C. Buford, the best GM in basketball down in San Antonio, and he said, "You are my guy. In you, I trust." And what was the first thing that he did with the 2nd overall pick? He picked Kevin Durant. Was that the right way to go?
Yes.
Or Greg Oden, who went first,
yes.
Right? Yeah, okay. So, again, Kevin should have gone first.
Right.
Greg Oden had foot problems and all kinds of
problems. Big out to an even worse start because he'd have been stuck with Greg Oden.
There you go. There you go. But he picked Kevin Durant.
Correct.
And what I started to see from this guy, Sam Presti, is he became one of the top drafters, second only to me, to R.C. Buford, although you could make a case he's out-mentored the mentor a little bit, right?
Yes.
And yet, as a trader, as a guy who can manipulate what he has in-house when you need to manipulate, he's at the bottom of the list. He is epic failure. So he can draft, but he can't trade on schedule. What was the old Branch Rickey quote about from baseball days when he said you should trade a player one year before you think you should? Well, did that not apply to Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook? He let Kevin walk. You have to read the tea leaves.
Yes.
You have to see it coming. If you choose Russell Westbrook over Kevin Durant within your franchise and you say you're 1 and he's 1A,
Right.
you know what's coming.
Yes.
He's going.
Yes.
So you have to see it coming at the trade deadline, because could you not gotten big assets back for Kevin Durant if you'd shopped him?
Now they'd have 10.
Okay.
They'd have 10 lottery picks.
They might, okay? So then what happened with Russell Westbrook? You have to see it coming. You have to say, because, again, my friends there, and I have a lot of Thunder fan friends and people in the media, they believe when Paul George finally gave him a call and said, hey, I'm sorry to tell you, but I want to go home, that it was actually a relief to Sam Presti because he didn't love what he had wrought.
Right.
It looked pretty good, but it was only going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
It was only going to get you to here, right?
Correct.
Instead of, you couldn't contend with that group. So he took he heaved a sigh of relief and said, okay, now I can start over.
Right.
Well, the only reason he can start over is he is drafted so well that he has a track record with the owner who hired him.
Right.
What other GM could get away with this?
No.
Nobody could. But he's been with Clay Bennett since 2006, and Clay, till death do them part. They're loyal to each other, so he can get away with trying to sell his fandom on 2026. I got 3 draft picks. Who could get away with that?
No, you can't.
Because for those Thunder fans, they're like, really?
Skip, and I believe Paul George going to Sam Presti saying, I would like to go home. I would like for you to trade me to Clippers. Sam Presti fell on his knees and started praying because he saw Paul George have a career year, 28 points, 8 rebounds. He saw Russ average triple-double, and they got bounced in the first round in 5 games.
I know. Now, Paul had 2 bum shoulders, and he got them fixed.
But even that being said, Skip, they weren't going any further. We're in salary cap. We're in luxury tax hell, Skip.
Oh, they were in big $32 million tax hell.
For what?
And originally, they wouldn't keep James Harden because they didn't want to go into the tax. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
Okay, and what did you get back for James Harden? You did get a quote-unquote haul, but you got Kevin Martin, who was a very good player, but he gave you that, remember the 60 and 22 year that they had? Right after James left? Okay, so Kevin Martin helped that year, but that was the only year he gave you.
Correct.
Then they got a draft pick that they used for Steven Adams. Okay, that works.
Right.
But he can draft. He drafted Steven Adams.
And they're gonna end up trading him because there ain't no sense in you paying him $20 million.
I don't know. I could still see he could be a cornerstone. Like you could. He's only 25 years old. Maybe he.
The only thing he can do the remake of Aquaman.
You think so?
Yeah, he can do that. He ain't playing no basketball. But anyway, so let me ask you a question, Skip. You know who this reminds you of? I know another team that had an abundance of picks. The Boston Celtics.
Yep.
Now, how'd that work out for them, Skip?
I don't know. To me, I love NFL picks. I never love NBA picks because I don't know what they're going to... What are they? Because you need to go you need to do a New Orleans.
Right.
If you have one and you hit on Zion in the right year at the right time, you don't love Zion. But again, if he's what I think he is and what most people think he is, then you hit the biggest lottery because you hit right time, right place lottery. Well, how do I know any of these picks are going to be right place, right time?
Well, Skip, maybe if it was like, 2020. But Skip, once you start getting down to 2025, 2026, Skip, do you know how long that is away? How does that help me right now? When I'm looking up there and I look at that, look at that, what you had. And it's all gone.
It's all gone, and you don't have that much to show for it.
You got one finals appearance.
Yep.
You got one finals appearance. Like I said, if you get one, then people will say you underachieved. But you got 2 out of the... Because you look at with the Warriors, it's like, okay, we had Kevin Durant for 3 years. We believe we'd have been 3 for 3 had he not blown out his Achilles.
That is true.
But 2 out of 3 isn't bad.
Okay. Okay, so what did you get back? You got Shea, Gilgeous, Alexander.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Right.
That's a cornerstone. That's a building block.
You got Gallinari.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then if you keep Steven Adams, Schroeder is only 25 years of age, so maybe.
Yeah.
I like him. He's okay. That Darius Bazley, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a clutch client, but he's that kid who didn't play in high school.
Oh, yeah.
6'9" kid, and I think he could be great. I don't know, but he's another potential building block. And you got all these picks.
You're never going to have it as good as you had it. It's never going to be that good. Skip, I don't care how good he drafts. He ain't drafting that again.
I don't think so. Because that's all-time,
Yes.
right? Who's
Kev-
ever done that before?
Kevin Durant's going to be, I believe when it's all said and done, if he comes back healthy, Kevin Durant's going to be a top 10 player. It's going to be hard to keep him out of that mix.
Top 10 all-time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. James Harden, is he done winning MVPs? I don't know. I mean, with the offensive, with the way he can do it now, there are a lot of guys that's geared up. There's a lot of pairs now. And Russ, you had that. You had a guy that averaged 3 straight years of triple-double. You had a guy that went somewhere else and got 2 finals MVP, won 2 titles. You had let James Harden, all he's been is all-NBA since the day he walked out your door.
If we had to just rank all-time offensive players, offensive only, where do those 3 rank all-time? They're way up there.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Kevin Durant and James Harden, they might be top 5.
Right?
Just offense? Oh, yeah. Because I always exclude Wilt. So you go Jordan, Kobe. What?
Okay. And there's some nights when I would say Kevin's an even better scorer than Jordan was, only because when you're 7 feet tall and you can do that.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's just impossible to stop it.
And when James Harden's getting that step back, you can't do anything with that.
Nope.
And now he done got the floater.
Yeah.
So now he go around, he floats the ball, you can't do anything about that.
Okay. And 3 straight triple-doubles for seasons, that's... If I told you that 4 years ago, you would have laughed at it.
Nobody would have believed it.
Okay, there you go.
And Sam Presti had all that.
Had all that on one team.
There is a 22% minority stake for sale in the Thunder right now, so maybe you two can team up and
I ain't got no money. My
purchase
money
it
just
and
Nah, if they had
right,
KD, James Harden, Russ, I might be interested.
You live in Bel Air, but you got no money.
My money jump funny, Skip, you know.
Okay.
Things happen.
All right, up next, are the Rockets now a title contender with Russell Westbrook? We'll discuss that as Chris Broussard joins us when we come back.
There it is, baby.